So this is some heavy news. I woke up today morning at 6:45 a.m. to a bunch of messages from people that I know. I got some messages from my cousin, some messages from my friend, some messages from my siblings. They all were about the same topic. It turned out. But I first read my cousin's messages, and he simply said, Jason David Frank has passed away. He committed suicide. And as I read those two messages, I had to process them first. I had to take some time to just read those words over and over again before I could verify that they were true, before I could read up on what had happened. I just had to take it in. And the truth is, as I'm filming this video, I'm still taking it in. It's been several hours since the news broke and has been confirmed, and I'm still processing the fact that we lost the man who played the Green Ranger. It's been almost 2 weeks since Kevin Conroy passed away. I didn't get a chance to make a video about how I felt and how I was grieving about the loss of him, because I was just too busy that week and there was so many other things going on, and by the time I had some breathing room in my life, too much time had passed. I was able to process it and let go, but this news is still fresh for me. And the fact that we've lost two childhood icons in such a short amount of time, it's crazy. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers has been a special thing for me ever since I was a kid. And even now as an adult, I still love that original Power Rangers show. I watched a lot of Power Rangers series. I watched a lot of the other incarnations as they were coming out. The last Power Rangers series that I watched was Power Rangers Operation Overdrive. After that season, I stopped, so I have not been watching any of the newer stuff like Ninja Steel or Megaforce or Cosmic Fury. I'm aware of it, but I have not been up to date. Despite that, I have a special place in my heart for the original shows, and specifically the first 7 seasons, which would be Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Power Rangers Zeo, Power Rangers Turbo, Power Rangers in Space, and Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. I have such a special place in my heart for those seasons of Power Rangers. And again, it's just weird to think that we've lost another member of the original 6 Power Rangers cast, and under such tragic circumstances as well. I never knew anything about Jason David Frank's personal life because I don't like digging into celebrities' personal lives. I'm a private person myself, and the fact that celebrities don't have the luxury of privacy just is something that never sat right with me. So I never followed anything about any celebrities' personal lives, especially Jason David Frank's. And even after hearing the circumstances of his passing, it being a suicide, I still don't have the heart to go find out why he did what he did, why he had to make the choice, or why he felt like he had to make the choice that he made, and chose to end his life this way. It's heartbreaking, and I can't begin to fathom what he was going through these past few months, years. I don't know. And truth be told, I don't want to know, because whatever he was wrestling with was his, and, he's taken all of those with him. So I don't want to make any further comments about the nature of his passing. I want to talk about just the fact that I'm grieving over this news. And also, I want to talk about what Power Rangers meant to me and what the character of Tommy Oliver meant to me as a kid, growing up. When I was young, the Power Rangers was a family experience for me. It was a shared experience I had with my siblings and my cousins. I was born in 1995. Power Rangers first aired in 1993. By the time I was old enough to watch any TV, I think Power Rangers, Zeo, Turbo, and In Space had all come out. They're all aired in on the TV screens. So my Power Rangers experience was all over the place. I was watching some episodes of Zeo, some episodes of Mighty Morphin, some episodes of Turbo, some episodes of In Space. I never watched it in continuity. But despite that, I was obsessed with the Power Rangers. I loved anything to do with the Power Rangers. When it came to Mighty Morphin specifically, I started watching episodes of season 3 first. So when I watched Power Rangers for the first time, Tommy was the White Ranger for me first. And also the other thing was that in season 3, Adam, Aisha, and Rocky were the red, yellow, and black ranger instead of Jason, Trini, and Zach. So like I said, my experience was all over the place. I will never forget the day I watched the first episode of Mighty Morphin season 1. There was a video store that I would go to with my mom occasionally because I loved movies and I loved anything to do with Power Rangers, and they would have a bunch of Power Rangers VHS cassettes. Sometimes I would borrow the same episodes over and over and over again because that's all they had and I just wanted to watch Power Rangers. But one day they had the original episode, and I remember the guy who worked there told me, hey, this is the first episode of Power Rangers. And I told my mom, I want to borrow this, I want to watch it, I want to see how it all started. And when I put the first episode in, it was so weird because Rocky, Aisha, and Adam were not in it, and Jason David Frank wasn't in the first episode of Power Rangers. I don't remember exactly how, but eventually I caught on to the fact that, or I caught up to the storyline that he was the Green Ranger first and he was evil. Then he became the White Ranger and eventually became the leader of the team. And as a kid, I remember it being such an epic story, seeing him as the Green Ranger, introduced as a villain, then turned good, and then becoming the White Ranger and taking on the role of the leader of the Power Rangers team. As a kid, it seemed epic. And then I watched Power Rangers Zeo and Turbo more in continuity afterwards because I realized by that, at that point I realized, okay, there's a story, there is a continuity here. I want to know how things happen in sequence. And I watched the episode where the main actors or the main cast members, including JDF, leave Power Rangers Turbo and they hand it off to the next generation of heroes. And I continued watching Power Rangers after that. I watched Power Rangers in Space, Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, Power Rangers Time Force, Power Rangers Wild Force. I watched Ninja Storm, and I eventually watched Dino Thunder the year it came out. And I will never forget the pure joy and awesomeness of seeing JDF back as Tommy. Because the idea of an actor who had played an iconic character and was done with that role, coming back to that role, was something I had never experienced or even thought of as a kid. You know, when I was a kid, I thought when an actor is finished with their role, he or she just moves on and does something else. So I'll never forget watching Dino Thunder for the first time. And when I saw Jason David Frank in the show, I didn't recognize him because he had short hair, whereas in Power Rangers Mighty Morphin all the way up to Power Rangers Turbo, he had long hair. I didn't recognize him with the short hair. And it took me a while. I was like, okay, he looks kind of familiar, he sounds kind of familiar, but it didn't click, it didn't register with me that this was him and this was him as Tommy. It was only when I saw the theme song I realized it was Tommy, and I was mind blown. It's a precious memory, guys. It is a precious memory, and I will never forget the excitement that I felt seeing him as Tommy in this new incarnation of Power Rangers as the Black Ranger. And that was crazy, you know, and it was just so wild. I mean, I pretty much said the same thing in a bunch of different ways, but that's the kind of joy seeing him as Tommy Oliver brought to me when I was a kid. And even though he hadn't played that role consistently, I know he had come back for some of the other crossover episodes uh, in the newer series like Megaforce and all. And I know he's made a few appearances there, but I haven't watched any of that stuff. Despite that, he brought so much joy. The character of Tommy Oliver brought so much joy to me, and all I can say is that I'm gonna miss him very much. And every time I look at my Green Ranger or White Ranger merchandise, and every time I rewatch the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, I know I'm gonna feel sad because it's gonna be so strange knowing that he's no longer with us in real life. I'm so thankful for two things. Number one, I'm so thankful that I got to meet him a few years ago. It was back in 2015. He came to Melbourne, Australia for a convention called Supernova. I got a ticket to meet him and get an autograph. I'll never forget where we were lining up, me and a bunch of other Power Rangers fans, some guys in full Power Rangers cosplay. We were all lining up to get Jason's autograph. He comes out and he starts to film us, and he asks us to sing the Go-Go Power Rangers theme song. And we all did. We all sang Go-Go Power Rangers, and he, panned across the crowd. He uploaded it on his social media, and I remember watching the video, and for like 2 seconds I saw I was on that video. I met him shortly after that, and he signed an autograph. I still have that with me. I'm so thankful that I got to meet him while he was around. And in addition to that, I'm so thankful for all the work he did in supporting this franchise. Because even after he finished playing Tommy, he still supported the fans and the brand by attending all these conventions, by doing so many things for us fans. And I know that his love for Power Rangers, his love for the fans, and his love for his character Tommy Oliver was 100% real until the very end. And I will miss him very much. And that's all I got to say, guys. And if there's any Power Rangers fans watching this, let's talk about this news. What did Power Rangers mean to you when you were a kid? What does it mean to you now? And what was your reaction when you heard this news? Whatever your thoughts are, leave your comments down below. And I'll catch you guys next time.